Welcome back to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message for Libra. I know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Never force anything. Now, if you're new to the channel, know that I like to go deep within my reading. So I do look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. Now, if you're connected to a Scorpio or a Virgo, you might want to check out my other two channels, and you can find those two links and all other important links in my description box below. If you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video is always how I start my readings off. It's where Spirit tells me to begin the reading. It's usually the underlying energy of why everyone's doing what they're doing. And that's important to know when you're looking at the shadows. Okay, we're going to jump right on in and we're going to take a peek and see what is that underlying energy. It is attachment. It's addiction. Attachment can be addiction. It could be dependency, whether that's on a person or things. So I'm kind of feeling like you're connected to someone that you don't feel, and you don't feel them because again they're suppressing their emotions. They're not in a good way, and when a person suppresses their emotions, then they actually are cutting. When they do drugs or they drink too much to suppress their emotions, what they're doing is they're actually cutting their energy. The ESP connection is of the heart and mind. Spiritual connections are of the heart and mind. So I feel like your person is kind of like they're detached and they're attached because they're not liking where they are right now within their life. I feel like there's a lot of changes happening within their life, ones that they don't really have control over, and it's making this person feel very insecure about themselves. I'm almost kind of feeling like this person tends to do everything. Every day is Groundhog's Day. This person like is kind of missing parts of their identity, and I say that because when every day is Groundhog's Day, and then our free time is drugs, alcohol, especially when, or some, whatever the attachment is, it could be people. And I feel like at one time it could be people. I just don't feel like it's now. I feel like your person is actually changed one addictive behavior for another. So we're going to see what that has to do with you, how your person feels about you, what's going on within their life, what they did do. Let's take a peek at first, like let's look at the hidden truths, where your person is, how they think about you, and then we'll jump right on in and at the wounds and the triggers. Okay, let's see. I'm grateful for the spiritual lesson. So again, I feel like even though this person's in a bad way, they can still they still feel the connection of you. Now, I feel like you may not feel them because you're busy, and that this person may be up at night or during times that you're not tapped into them. But this person still, I feel like, thinks about you a lot. And I feel like they've never had a connection like the connection that they had with you. But I feel like it made them look at their life. And that's also not just because of what you did, but because where they are in their life. I feel like there's changes happening, and they're not confident in those changes. They're not confident within themselves. So the one thing that they kind of feel is again this spiritual connection that they have with you, that maybe there's a greater reason why they're here, and push them to go further with inside of themselves. And I feel like that's why they're grateful. And you may say, like, this person wasn't good to me. But again, they still, even with them not being good to you, they might have not wanted to be in a relationship. I feel like this person has problems. If they have attachment, they feel inadequate. So they don't want the type of relationship that you wanted. What they wanted was a surface type of relationship. And their character is of a low vibration. Why again, this person is not emotionally available. So they can't even really have a conversation because they're wounded. However, like again, spiritual uh, lessons are because we learn from somebody that is like a soulmate. So there is love. We stick around long enough to actually learn the lesson. And I'm kind of feeling like this person is in a place where even though that they're down and out, they feel again that spiritual connection. It was my fault, but I blamed you. And this person wouldn't let you get that close. Like I said, it was it seemed like games, a lot of games, but I feel like it's because they feel inadequate. Their life is Groundhog's Day, every day home, work, and then, like drinking and addictions. No one wants that after a while. This person perceives you as being successful, perceives you as like having it all together. Now you might be like, I don't have it all together, but whatever you show this person. And also I feel like you have genuine friends and you have friends that, you know, for you haven't even lived in the neighborhood or been like there as long as they've been, and you have more friends than they do. So it's again the way that you feel and present yourself in alignment with how you feel, and this person doesn't feel good about themselves, so they don't really present themselves as anything. They present themselves as standoffish, as not fitting in, as not being accepted. But here it is, they have a spiritual connection to you. So it's almost like, oh, I can have that. I can have a connection with somebody. It's like if someone can get me. However, it scares me. You came closer than anyone because it's almost like, listen, like I did let you in, but it freaked me out. It freaked me out. So there's a sense that they're still thinking about it, but I feel like you've detached from this person. Because you've detached from this person, they don't really know how to fix it. I feel like there's not even a desire for them to fix it because of where they are. However, they regret lying to you and they can't stop thinking about you. Because there is a spiritual connection, just because this person doesn't want there to be a spiritual connection, doesn't want a relationship. What they're seeing is that they can't shut it on and off. Where this person, I think, thought that they could, and that's why they're like, wow, this really is a spiritual thing. Because I can't really understand what it is. But we have to look and see what they did. Because, like I said, we know that you're in separation from them. So they had to have done something to you. Again, this person, I feel like they were rescuing everyone else. They had too many responsibilities other places. They were a savior for other people, and that you had to draw the line because it was like this person expected to do for everyone else, be there for everyone else, and almost like you were either going to wait or you were going to do for them, right? In order for you to be in their life, you would have actually had to do for them. And that would have been a really imbalanced relationship. When meanwhile, it's just avoidance tactic. It's like this person felt the spiritual connection. They got freaked out by the spiritual connection because the spiritual connection would it made them look at themselves. They don't like what they see. And they certainly don't like what they see because I think things are changing in their life. And like I said, so there's no familiarity and they don't, it's making them dive deep within inside of themselves. There's wounds there that this person hasn't even looked at. So again, those wounds are distorted are distorted perceptions about themselves, are creating distorted perceptions, mainly because of the core beliefs that they have about themselves. Troublemaker, and just like this person, because they feel inadequate, like they tend to not care about anybody else except for themselves. So they tend to go into situations and be very selfish, only think about themselves, not really be honest, not really have the highest character, because obviously no one wants to be in a relationship with someone that doesn't really want to invest. So I feel like this person would lie because they have needs too. It's just they are consciously choosing to stay in a low vibration, and it does create destruction in the wake of them. So they like leave a trail of people because they use people for what they want them for. They don't invest, but then are there for other people, too much for family, too much for people that they work with, too much for people that are, feel familiar to this person. However, when, you do that, then the people that are actually like in this person's environment that they're overdoing for being a savior, for being the fixer for, wind up just making that person, putting that person in that category. It's not really that they're friends with this person, with these people anymore. It's more like an obligation, but it distorts your person's perception, like as if, that they're important because they do it. It makes them feel good. See, when a person doesn't have their heart chakra open, it's not that they still don't want to feel love. If anything, they feel like they can't have it. So they try to steal it or they try to get it through underhanded ways. And so even though this person may seem like the savior, they're really doing it again as a way to be like, well, I'm almost like moderating my life out. And I'm then seen as a good person, not a bad person. However, in my spare time, I'm just going to be with other people randomly. And, and I'm going to get my needs taken care of that way. And, I may have to lie to get what it is that I want, but it doesn't matter because, I'm just going to leave into, like, again, destruction, along the way. And that's emotional destruction for the people that I use. And again, be only caring about myself. However, I'm still thinking about you. I can't get you off my mind. I was actually thinking of changing, but then I got scared. That's what I feel like. And that's the thing, because the person knows that they have to change. Or the person that's connected to you, I should say. Again, creating illusions, again, pretending that they don't really care, pretending that they're more successful. Obviously, anyone that does not like their life doesn't walk around saying, I don't like my life. I think I'm a failure. No one does that. I just don't think that this person was aware of how bad they felt about themselves. And I feel like because they've had some success within their life, possibly business wise, possibly money wise, because this person really is not emotionally intelligent, but I feel as if they're very logical and analytical and very smart that way. So they created the illusion that they were successful because they thought success only had to do with money. They thought success meant, like, again, you acquire nice things. And so I feel like this person had come from a very imbalanced environment where there was a lack of money. And when there's a lack of money, then a lot of times we inherit like our parents' wounds of, not really feeling adequate, not really feeling good enough. And so, and also adapting to the same behaviorisms. So again, if there's addiction, and I feel like that this person has addictions. So the way that they learned how to cope was through addiction. But again, people that have addictions, they don't feel good about themselves. So they create the illusion. So we have to say, what was the triggers for you? Obviously we see what the triggers were for you. That they were a troublemaker, that again, giving more time to everyone else, creating illusions, not really being true. But we'll ask more. Cheating, like you always felt like this person like if they weren't cheating, they would trigger you to make you think that they were cheating. Then again, always letting you know that they had one foot in, one foot out, not making you feel secure in the relationship. Even if it wasn't cheating, it was emotional cheating, talking to people on Instagram, talking to people on Facebook, talking to people through their social media. Again, talking to other people and not giving you the time. So creating that one. Meanwhile, like getting attached to people on the internet and then but not really having any intention with them either. But those people on the internet think that they do. Again, those people are drawing attachment to them. So it's making them, feed their ego to make themselves feel good about themselves because clearly they don't feel good about themselves. Again, undervalued. Like this person made you feel undervalued. It's like you're treating me like as if like, and that's part of the emotional abuse. That's part of the, I'm going to pretend that this isn't really like that important. Again, that's what the lies were about. The lies were, I really didn't like you. I blame you for everything when really it's my fault. I didn't want this relationship. I didn't want to have a spiritual connection to you. First of all, I never even had a spiritual connection, so I didn't want to be in a relationship because all my relationships are horrible. And now you come into my life and I still don't want a relationship. I still wanted to play the field and, talk to other people and, and be perceived as this type of person, as a desired person, as someone that was hot to trot. It's like I wasn't looking for this. Well, guess what? It's like you're in separation now, and they're definitely thinking about it now. like whether they wanted to or not. And that's what the spiritual lesson is. It's like I can't control this. I can't control this. And meanwhile, I don't have connection to anybody. This is what they're like. They're like, I can turn it on, turn it off. It's again. And it's like, I can't turn it off. If anything, it's getting worse. As the time goes by, it's getting worse. This is the anxiety that this person is having. It's again, and you had expectations because there was a spiritual connection. So you're like on top of it at all. And that's really what hurts the most when a person perceives to be a certain way. This person wore a mask. Again, got you connected, hooked, but I feel like they thought that they were going to get what they wanted and then bail out. And that's not what happened. It's like the writing was on the wall. You were like, you're not like, I feel like you're cheating. You're making me feel like I'm not important, like you're undervaluing me. And, I had such great expectations for this relationship, and being that you're not meeting them even halfway, I'm outie. And like I said, and now this person is like, feeling a certain way about it. Again, let's see. Like I said, what it is that they're reflecting and they're saying, well, not that we see already what they felt, but let's see if they're going to do anything, because our own ego wants to know that. And then we'll see why you attracted that person into your life, Libra. Let's see. Karma, no, like it's cause and effect. It's like almost like, no, this person was bad. And so, and it's almost like blind justice for you. It's like, oh, I cared about you and I gave 100% of myself to you. And that might have not been anything except for I was honest and I treated you the way I wanted to be treated. I never looked at your past. I never looked at anything, and you treated me as if I was less than. Well, now the shoe's on the other foot. It's like now it's like things are changing. It's like I said, this person is still thinking about you. They're not, it doesn't look like they're going to do anything, but this person's almost like, well, again, there's the consequences. That's really what it is. Again, and no, it's like if they're in their healing, look, self-aware, ego, seeing clearly, seeing where they need improvement. So they're in a place of healing, but I don't believe that is just because of you. I believe that there was things also that are making this person. So it's almost like the universe is making this person change by making them change the way that they view themselves. There was a big ego there, and that ego is built up from all the past experiences that, this person has created for themselves, making themselves appear bigger than life. And again, using people. And now it's come to an end. So again, that mirror has come up. And again, where they have to, yeah, there's a sense of needing to be grounded life force. Okay, so like it's almost like this person is I want to say making changes again, because this is like needing materials, resources, like so it's almost like they're building themselves. They're building their wealth. They're trying to change themselves through changing by putting the energy towards like creating change, I think, within their job. And that's where all the energy is now. I feel like they're not they're continually thinking about you. However, what they see is they're not in a good space. The things are changing. And what I feel like when that is needing materials, like it's again, this person is trying to get that themselves structured and feeling strong. And so it's almost like I don't feel like they're gonna do anything in this relationship because they need to build themselves strong. However, the relationship made them very, very aware of where they needed healing in and like what needed to change. And that is almost like I would almost have a feeling like it's like the one that got away. You came closer to me than anyone. If I knew if I knew then what I know now, I wouldn't have treated you this way. I wouldn't have lied to you this way. But it's almost like this person's life had to get completely upside down for them to look and see what they lost with inside of you. And sometimes that is what happens. It's like this person, like karmically, while they're riding high, you know, saw something else. But that, wheel of karma, that's one thing about the wheel, right? I mean, you pulled the wheel. It's like the wheel of fortune. It's just like that whatever goes up comes back down, and that your person never set back did that. So we have to say, why did you attract this person into your life? Because clearly they need healing, right? And again, what are the shadows that you need to heal to integrate? Because you don't want to attract the same type of person, or again, relive the same kind of karmic theme. What is that you need to learn? And it's again gifts. Well, it actually uncovered something. Not all the time your shadows are wounds. Sometimes we find our gifts. It's again, remember, you're an energy being, and your energy is made up of your psychological and your emotional aspects of yourself. And so when we have shadows psychologically, I believe that you felt like, again, I don't have anything. I'm not good at anything. I don't know why I'm here. I feel like, again, you felt a little inadequate, the same as this person in actuality. Like goes to like. Now we understand why exactly you attracted this person too, because it's like you both felt the same about who you were, but when this person didn't give you anything, invested more time into yourself. So you found your gifts. Lies and secrecy, growing up in an environment, and also like the lies are about how you perceive yourself, number one. But I believe that, growing up in an environment where, we're embarrassed of the imbalances, whether it again too much drinking, too much one parent, divorce, whatever the imbalance is, we're always taught to protect that, like almost like a secret, and to ignore that part of ourselves. But the truth of the matter is, when we go through whatever experience for survival, we get gifts. See, everything is the way that you perceive it, and so every bad situation you learn something. So I just feel like the lie of who you perceived you were, and that lie is that you were the secrets that you like grew up with, again, which is what made you perceive who you are. And that's because if we grew up in an imbalance, we're not growing ourselves, we're not putting the energy towards ourselves. We a lot of times have to compensate for whatever's imbalanced in the family dynamic. And that means that we all play a part within the family dynamic. And so, again, I don't believe that that allowed you to go and find your gifts. Okay, and one more. Confusion. That love is confusing. Growing up in an environment where you saw like one parent doing all the work, a codependency, well, yourself. Growing up in an alcoholic family, this person has addictions, not uncommon for you to attract what traumatized you. And again, but getting to see it through a different perception and through, again, of unconditional love. Seeing it like, again, a lot of times if we have an alcoholic mother or father, or it's a parent that's not available, we don't see when we're children why that happened. And even as we get older, our perception is still rigid on why, we put our own twist on things, our own perception. But then the universe brings us a person that has the same wounds, but when there's a spiritual connection, so there is unconditional love. And then we get up close and personal, and we're able to really see like what our parent or that caregiver was going through too. We just didn't see it from that perception when we were growing up. And that's what healing is. It's all about, seeing things from a different perception, including getting to see yourself different. Like, and you're not inadequate. You have gifts. You found them. You put the time and energy into yourself, which is what needed to happen. You're not the lies. This says more about them than yourself. And that love really shouldn't be confusing. And life isn't confusing. It's that we just need to be the energy of unconditional love, and that we can't control who we love. It's that, however, we do know when things aren't going to be balanced. And so, like, this situation is never going to be balanced because this person needs to do a lot of healing. I should never say never, but they need to do what they need to do in order to heal. And so we have to say, well, again, is there any other energy that we can pull into the situation? Because sometimes it's a bummer when we're like, well, there's a spiritual connection, but the person's all broken, And I attracted that person. Again, why? Well, it was either give the time and energy to this person and you would have gotten nothing in back from this person, which wouldn't be good because they were all about one side and being one-sided themselves, or to put the energy into yourself. So that's why you said you put the energy into yourself. Then what you see is, again, that people that are in balance can love you, but their love isn't perfect. A lot of times we have expectation that of how it should look. And really, we have to put that expectation onto ourselves, like of what, because we're going to put the enough effort and energy behind it. The person's wounded, they think that they give so much when they give a little bit. They're not coming from the truth. So we have to say, again, goodness, I overcome my imperfections and polish my character and feed on the positive. Thus I free myself and allow my goodness to manifest and become a source of joy. Through gentleness, I offer unconditional support, understanding, and love to myself and others. So it's like, again, that I feel like you felt like you were not I feel like you felt like your life wasn't working. It's like that there was pieces of you that were missing because of the environment that you grew up in. So you attracted the same type of energy to you, like goes to like. So if you feel inadequate, you pull the person to you that feels inadequate. Doesn't matter that they could make money and they just feel inadequate with people. It doesn't specify. The universe is like, nope, there's only two energies, love and fear. You feel inadequate because you don't know who you are, not fully. And that's because part of your identity is not the experiences that you went through, or even the family that you grew up in, it's yourself, but you're still walking from that level of consciousness. So you had to put the love into yourself and still continue. What you need to do is to continue to find your goodness and to try and overcome your perceived imperfections by polishing your character. It's always to come to the highest of energies, which is unconditional love, and all those characters that are derived from unconditional love, such as perseverance, forgiveness, courage, self-sacrifice, all the energies of a Christ consciousness, the highest consciousness of all. That is, again, the strongest. It's just love. It's the energy of the universe. Again, and through gentleness, I offer unconditional support, understanding, and that is what unconditional love is. To become unconditional love, because that's your natural energy. That's your real energy. That's the energy that you're born with. That's perfect energy. And what happens is we're all born into families and societies and situations and experiences that make us form these blocks. And so we wouldn't know. Again, we'd say, no, I've passed that. I'm past that. I moved out of that house a long time ago. I forgave my parents. And Spirit says, till you go through an experience that allows you to really integrate that by grounding it, so you allow yourself to see yourself differently, you haven't. You're still holding on to the energy. So you might have healed your mind. But Spirit says you still need to take the test. And the test is that here's this person, that there's a spiritual connection, and they're broken. And they're creating the same type of environment that you grew up in. Are you going to do what's familiar and comfortable? Or are you going to do something different? And you said, I'm going to choose something different. And your person said, I'm going to do the same thing. You're ready to evolve, they are not. But the spiritual lesson at the end of the day, they didn't win. They didn't learn it because they're stuck on not being able to get you out of their head. And you're never not coming back. So I'm going to leave that there, Libra. You let me know whether you resonate. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.